Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The 2nd of May 2014, we're still in Singapore. This is John FARACLAS from Allaboutshipping for the weekly, the 16th reporting about the markets and the world politics. The BDI closed up for a change, 24 points, surpassing the 1,000 barrier, which was there below this barrier for exactly 18 days. It was a bit of a too much. It was expected, but yet again, we are not at ease because the only size, again, the culprit as I call it, that put the market up and pull it up was again the Cape size. So, the market is up. It's also 50 points up since last Friday closing, Friday the 25th of April. It's been, as I said, 18 days we have experienced this below the 1,000 point barrier. Obviously, again, don't be happy, as the Capers did it with 113 plus points yesterday, reaching 1,829, up from last week's marks, which was 1,629 points. That was 133 altogether. The Panamax index, the BPI, was down 6 points at 865, which is only 1 point up since last Friday. The BSI remained flat at 915, but up 3 from the 1912 of the previous week. Equally, the BHSI was down 4 points at 510 since yesterday and was down completely, and this is not a nice sign. The WETs at 644, the Baltic 30 Tri-Index, down 4, and the cleans were up at 596, up 2 points. And again, it's below the 25th of April's closing. Caution to all fronts. Ukraine and the situation over there, as we have foreseen in writing before anybody else, and we have stressed that the troubles at that time began. It was a long, a very prolonged situation. It just officially began to show, might bring a total conflagration in the entire area with the worldwide repercussions. There are dead people. People are killing each other for one reason or another. We see dead people there, and this is very, very serious. Whether Russia exercises what it calls her defense of her people there, this is a story to be seen. But we should not push it hard from the West. We have the example of Georgia, and this is very, very important. If we have diplomats and we pay them so much money, and I'm very, stressing this, we'd like to see diplomacy, the Greek word diplomacy, to rule the day. Otherwise, it's a shameful situation with all this rhetoric coming after the Second World War, after the Cold War. What is going on? Shame. So, gear up and work for peace. Okay? Mrs. Merkel's now visit in the US was more than an important one. The actual leader of Europe is upset with the whole situation there, and to use a Greek word, she will use diplomacy to all intents and purposes if she wants Germany to run Europe, and moreover to see Europe remaining intact. And the taping issue that she cannot forget, and she cannot afford to accept from Mr. Obama's administrations and secret services. The seawall, this disaster, this ferry disaster in South Korea. Over here in the Far East, we've got already 2 resignations due to this disaster. After the South Korean Prime Minister's resignation on the 27th of the month, the President of the Korean and Chief Executive Officer of the Korean Registry of Shipping, Chung Hong-won, has just resigned. A brave act, or what to say. Nothing, of course, can, equalize or whatever the loss of life, even of one person. And the students lost, and on top of everything else, the subway disaster that we have in Seoul, it happened also in New York simultaneously, but both could have been avoided. Coming back to the seawall, if rumors are proper and there has been a warning on the vessel's conditions, I am sorry. ICAS, the International Association of Classification Societies, should close down any class society that doesn't perform even an iota of its obligations. Remind you that one of the students managed to say, "This looks like the end." The world, and especially the maritime safety, must listen to the accounts of the young students on board. Still 90 persons, 90 people, 90 lives are missing. 90 are still missing. 212 are confirmed that they have lost their lives from the entire passenger vessel. 325 on board this 476 strong passengers vessel, there were students at the second year of the high school. Shame. Is it really what we hear, red herring for the ill-fated missing MH370 Malaysian Airlines flight? We have put this down in writing. Enough lies and excuses. Clear out the situation. On geopolitics, Philippines, they have given land and water, as the Greeks they say, ye and either. Everybody understands what I'm saying. To the US vis-a-vis bases, and this proves of coming dangers. China pulls its strings anywhere their leaders want, using Confucianism, Confucius policies, and its paradigm with the new mandarins on the block. Understanding China is a must, otherwise the ping pong era that the late American President Richard Nixon launched in 1968 will be in tatters and will end in tears. And there will be no excuse. Imagine, I said imagine, if China has entered the World Trade Organization, the WTO, in the 60s, 40 years earlier than 2001. And China will never forget, of course, the humiliating defeat from a group of nations, namely Japan, Italy, the US, Germany, Russia, which of course they are conducting now naval drills in the East China Sea. This is to be watched. France, Britain, the US, and Austria-Hungary, if my memory doesn't fail me. Okay? Add the 1842, which ended the Opium War and then the losses of territory by China. The Boxers' War, remember? Japan is to be watched too, but never under a different perspective. Abe, with his Abenomics and the rest, knows the rules of the game and can prove a leader and a pacifist in the Pacific area too, if needed. And what about India? What's Modi blues there? Now, on other events, the Hellenic Business Network Association event on global challenges, geopolitical issues, which of course we're discussing already, and risk remedies at the China Club last Monday in Singapore gave the stigma, the positioning of what is to come. A great event, well attended to all intents and purposes. On the other side of the globe, back to London, Hellenic Centre, the best ever workshop of its kind took place with Professor Panikos Pougouris and Lukas Kliptis' faithful and unique event on the development of Greek shipping dynasties, succession across generations. Those who were present, now they know. This event must also take place in Greece, in Athens, the practical and actual capital of shipping, and of course in New York. Now, future events. Gear up for Wista's 40th anniversary, with Maria Dixon's faithful at Clyde & Co. Auditorium promising a great event on the 8th of May, nearly in a week's time. Of course there, I'm preparing you all, I will ask why women CEOs get fired more often and does that is apply to shipping? Be ready for this question. I'll be, as always, extraterrestrial. And then gear up for Posidonia, 2nd to 6th of June in the capital of shipping in Greece. And don't miss this major event as well as others. This is John FARACLAS from allaboutshipping.co.uk from Singapore, one of the world's biggest business centers, a very clean city indeed, with law and order, and no chewing gum on the pavements, and full of course of CCTV cameras protecting us, and why not? Safety is a very important issue. If you have nothing to hide, why not? Greece should be doing this here and now. Democratic values and personal freedom was destroyed fully after 1974. Remember this. Wake up, guys and dolls down in Paris. See where you have brought the world's classic nation future. At least we have shipping, ship owners and seafarers to be proud of. Have a nice weekend. Over and out.